You caught me eating. Hello.
Evening all.
Oh, dear. Hiya. Right. Can you share it onto the Dark Mayor's wall for me, please, mate?
Yes, we are live.
Out of the way. Right.
Oh, we are live.
We are live indeed. Oh, and there we are on the Simply Speaking Network.
Right.
Can I share this to...
It's now onto the Dark Mirror group.
All right, nice. No, I'm trying to share this onto... I'm trying to put it onto the show's Instagram. Oh, right. Do you know what? I'll just copy the link. Go onto Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah, we have an Instagram. Closed.
As you can see, I'm in my the dark recesses of Castle Spookanori.
Are you in the crypt again?
I thought I would make a change from being in the pantry.
I see you down. It's actually not the crypt, ladies and gentlemen. That is his sex dungeon. You'll find Ellen down there dressed up as a stormtrooper. I have no idea why. I don't know what goes on. Stormtrooper with Star Trek insignia on. I don't know what's going on. I heard when I went on there, Wayne mentioned something about wanting her to feel the Force and his lightsaber. So I just thought, no, you got a show to do tonight. No. And by the way, you did a good job with that sex swing. That's really good. I like that. Hello,
evening, Eric, Victoria, and Sarah.
Hello, everybody, and everybody who's joining us. Everybody who's watching in the Things Network and is watching us on
Simply
X,
Spooky
and
Network,
Twitter, and Instagram,
and Simply Spooky Network.
And the Simply Spooky Network's up there as well, and YouTube. So nice one. We're actually working. Oh, one of them's not working. Bloody! Why is that not working? X isn't.
Oh yes, the Force is very strong with this one. These are not the droids you are looking for.
You're looking for a date, aren't you? Fuck off, old man! Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, actually, hang on a second.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. Yes, they bloody are. Ooh. Hello, Bob. You all right, Bob? Meow. Yeah, he's okay. Bob says meow, and he's okay. The horse is strong with that one. Love the little green ears, don't you?
Legs, they don't want to work. I brought something the other day I think you will really like.
Well, you've just reminded me of something. I had an awesome thing happen tonight. That's really cool. I like that, the Chrome one. Yeah.
Guess what it is?
It's Mandalorian, isn't it? What is it? Aftershave.
Aftershave.
Is it? Which one is it?
It's the Mandalorian. It's official Star Wars Mandalorian aftershave.
Does it smell all right?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. It's expensive, but it's nice.
I might have to get some of those.
It's an early birthday present.
You know, I've been on and on and on about building either a Stormtrooper outfit or Mandalorian outfit because I did a cosplay.
Yeah.
Somebody tonight, because as you know, I go to Andy's Man Club, which is for people who've been low enough to want to commit suicide in dark places, don't know how to get out of this, that, and the other. They helped me. I was in a very dark place, didn't want to be here anymore a few months ago, and they helped me big time, and I'm back to my old self. So I go every week, and it's a good thing. It's good to talk, and it's good to get shit off your chest, and it's really, really good. So I'm going to plug Andy's Man Club because it's actually saved lots of people, lots of men from committing suicide, because a guy commits suicide every 8 minutes, so because he doesn't talk. Andy's Man Club is out there for a lot of cities, so just have a look if you need help. And look. Also, one of our guys has written a book about his life, and all the proceeds are going towards, or half the proceeds going towards Andy's Man Club. I will put the link up on the Dark Mirror Radio Show's wall for you. His name is Mark as well. In fact, I have a copy of the book here.
Hi, Rita.
There. And it's actually a very good read. So I'll put the link up on there. Have a look, see what you think. The same as, like with Wayne's books and everything. This one is actually real life and may help a few people. I know it's helped me, so I'll put the link up on the show later. All right. Anyway, as I was saying, the fuck was I talking about? This is right. You know, I've always been going on about making a costume, Star Wars costume for the
Yes.
I've been saying this for years since I lived in London. Everything. One of the guys there, he's made a Mandalorian costume, but he never uses it. He says, I can't be asked to wear it. And I'm like, oh, he says, yeah, I'm thinking about getting rid of it. I said, okay. And he said, yeah. He said, would you like it? And I went, how much? And he went, nothing. And he showed me the pictures of it. It's got everything. And he said, I built it. I don't want to wear it. He said, I'd far rather it goes to somebody who would use it and would use it for cosplay. And I was like, so I've got a Mandalorian costume this week, and I'm going to obviously alter it a bit and change it and make it into mine and make a. Do you know what? I've just realised what could be my insignia on the Mandalorian thing. It could be the alien head up in the corner there on the Dark Mirror show. So,
well, if it's too big, if it's too big, you can always send it down here. My mate, my friend John, he is part of I think it's the London chapter of the Star Wars Stormtrooper.
The 501st Squadron.
Yeah, and he has got he has a Stormtrooper outfit and a Gamorrean Guard outfit, but the Stormtrooper outfit is made from the original cast of the original Stormtrooper helmet.
Oh, nice.
So, and it's brilliant.
Well, I'm going to do this, obviously change it to suit me, and then I'm going to join the Mandalores, which is the same as the 501st. And then when we do things like Colchester Unleashed and stuff like that.
Yeah. Invasion Colchester, which is up this year, September.
Guess what I'm going to dress up as?
I've got to go and speak to Kerry actually from Invasion Colchester, because obviously we've done it 2 years on a trot now. So
yeah. Everybody will have to excuse me eating. I haven't eaten, and I have a plate full of chips and gravy.
Problem is the Gamorrean Guard outfit. If you need to lose weight, the Gamorrean Guard outfit is a winner for losing weight.
I was going to say, I bet it's bloody heavy, isn't it?
I was in it for 5 minutes, and I come out and I was absolutely drenched as if I'd been in the shower.
Those are very, very cool outfits. Can you imagine the guys that were playing when they were playing it in Jabba's palace? They must be sweating their bollocks off.
Yeah.
Did he get it from a galaxy far, far away? Yes, he did, Sarah. And yes, Rita. Aliens!
I could only do 10 minutes. He said only do 5 minutes at a time and then swap over. He said, because you won't be able to go for too long. And I thought, yeah, I've been in worse conditions. So I was the costume.
Oh, right.
I was in the costume for 10 minutes, and I come out, and no word of a lie, my shirt was absolutely drenched. I'm like, yeah, I won't be doing that again.
Yeah. Well, we've got the Colchester thing. We've got the Comic Cons here. I'll feed my face, Rita. We've got the Comic Cons here. And I'm just so looking forward to it. There's got the London ones and everything, so I'm just like
we did a good one down here actually in Wivenhoe. It was only a small Comic Con, one of the local pubs, but we had the DeLorean from Back to the Future down there. We had Darth Vader walking about and a few Stormtroopers, the Gamorrean Guard. We had an original Stormtrooper from the original Star Wars films there, and he was charging a $5 for his autograph. I'm like, I think I should start charging for mine then. Mine are free.
That's how they make their money, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is now. I mean, he's been in. I think he said to me he'd been in about 9 or 10 films.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, Star Wars he's probably the one that he's most well known for. So that's the one he puts up on his posters. You know, and in the small print, it's all the other little films he's been in, which, although are big blockbusters, he doesn't see them as much compared to Star Wars.
Okay.
I think it's probably because of the Comic-Con status, because Star Wars is such a big thing when it comes to Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
That Star Wars is the be-all and end-all of all Comic-Cons, really. If you're an original from a film, that's where you're going to be known for. So he just sticks with the Stormtrooper stuff.
I'll tell you who I met at XL London Comic Con. You know, Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Him. I met him there, but he was there because of Predator 2. And I tell you what, he'd been the whole weekend. This was the last day. I know they all get knackered and everything. Okay, we've got people watching. I'm sorry, I just had a message flash up on WhatsApp. We've got people watching down the bottom end of the country on YouTube. So welcome to the show, Anita and Dave. But yeah, he been there the whole time, and he was the nicest guy. Nicest guy. What's your name? It's Mark. Hey, Mark, my man. You know, and I had my autograph, had his autograph and photo and everything done. So I'm covered in gravy. Sorry. But yeah. Anyway, I digressed completely. You were going to let us know on something new that's happened this week that we were talking about just beforehand.
Yes.
Hey, Jackie.
Obviously, after the demise of the Challenger space shuttle disaster and all the other ones that all went a bit pear-shaped, and with the cancellation of the space shuttle and the entire fleet was grounded, they have now finally started testing a crew variant of the Dream Chaser. Now, the Dream Chaser is a new reusable lifting body space plane, which originally was developed way back in 2004 by a company called Space Dev. The company was then later acquired by Sierra Nevada Corporation in 2008. And then in April 2021, the project was then taken over by Sierra Space Corporation, which is part of the Sierra Nevada Corporation, but has been allowed to run as a fully independent company. And basically, it's designed to resupply the International Space Station with both pressurized and unpressurized cargo. And it's intended to be launched vertically on a Vulcan Centaur rocket. So that's going to go pretty quick, because we know that the Vulcan Centaur rocket is much, much more powerful than anything that's gone up since the last space shuttle. And it can autonomously land horizontally on conventional runways. So the proposed version was to be operated by the European Space Agency, will launch on an Ariane space rocket. The Dream Chaser concept and design is descendant of the original NASA space shuttle program. So all they've done is taken the original space shuttle design and they've modernized it and enhanced it. So hopefully it shouldn't have the issues that the space shuttle had. If I can get it up there. There we go.
Yeah, that's the thing they were testing a few years ago. I remember them testing it.
Yeah, the one they were testing a few years ago was the cargo, the cargo variant, which is unmanned.
Josh is at doctor's appointment, and his son's playing football, so he'll be back next week.
The one they have just recently been testing is now the 3 to 7 crew manned version. So obviously, they wanted to go with an unmanned version first, just in case there were some serious teething issues.
It's an unmanned version. Does that mean there'll be women cooked on it?
Yeah, they crewed it with nothing but women. It was a ladies only flight. So yeah, so
ladies flight. Sorry.
the very first test vehicle for the manned version and the cargo variant was in 2013. Once they realized that the cargo version would work, then they obviously started to use it. But there was still the question on whether or not they would use a manned version because of obviously the thermal protection system with the last one. But the tiles apparently are a new composite material called toughened unipiece fibrous reusable oxidation resistant ceramic.
So that's just a small acronym then.
Yeah, it's called Tough Rock for short.
Right.
And that's to cover the nose and leading edges.
Okay.
So they're probably using the original design tiles for the rest of it, but the leading edges and the nose is this new Tough Rock. Okay. So hopefully that will be the new thing going off.
I've just put the link for that book in the chat there, so anybody wants to have a look at it, that it's there.
But obviously, we still got the Starliner and SpaceX going up there and causing aggro.
And absolutely nothing at all for Space Force that doesn't exist, does it? Mm.
Oh no! Especially, have you seen the new Royal Air Force adverts?
I've seen the very gay-looking "Merry Christmas" thing that was sent around to the RAF troops that I sent to Wayne.
Merry Christmas, sir.
With the British Army's commentary on it.
Yeah, a bit dodgy, isn't it? But yeah, the new Royal Air Force advert seems to be sort of aimed at not just unmanned drones, but also about avoiding satellite. What did I put it? Accidents. Now, the Royal Air Force never got involved with things like that, but now all of a sudden it's, oh, look, this satellite's on a collision course with this satellite, so we'll divert it.
Yeah, because like I said, Space Force doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Bollocks. Half the UFO sightings we're seeing is to do with Space Force and the Skunk Works.
So it's like, oh, if you want to join the Royal Air Force, you could be part of Space Force as well.
I see. If I was younger and I had 2 hands and 2 feet, I would. I'd love to do that. Absolutely. The cat's trying to tattoo and you tattoo on my forearm. Oh, you bastard! Oh, it's Bob and all twat. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah. Loads and loads of sightings out of Lima and Peru, in Peru, and there's been so many daytime sightings in South America, and they've been done on decent phones with decent cameras. And I've seen some very strange videos out there, but I do think a lot of what we're seeing, it has a more earthbound not destination, where you come from there, where the you know what I mean? Fuck, words are gone. Yeah, that. Yeah, we're available for birthdays and bar mitzvahs. Yeah, I do think a lot of the UFOs we're seeing are from Earth. I think they're on their way up to the SpaceX. It's not SpaceX. They're on the way up to
the moon.
The fleet and whatever they're doing up there, and the maneuvers, the moon, Mars, the patrolling the planets, because we're supposed to have had Space Force for at least 30 years. Regardless of what anybody says, we're supposed to have had it for at least 30 years. That's That's if you listen to the whistleblowers. Right, come here, you. This was the Tiny Bob. This was the Tiny Bob, and this is the fucker who keeps trying to bite me and claw me. This thing. I've already got enough tattoos. You go over there. Very asshole. Anyway, so yeah, I think half these sightings that we're seeing are to do with Space Force. Because we all know, we know there's already a base on the moon, has been for a long time. There's rumors of, well, not rumors, there's been a lot of confirmed rumors that there's a base on Mars, and there's allegedly, is it Europa or Io where there's supposed to be a base, and there's supposed to be another one underneath the seas on Saturn, I think.
I know there's a lot of attention to Europa, isn't there? Because Europa seems to have a more compatible atmosphere.
As I say, if you listen to a lot of the whistleblowers stuff, it's been there for donkeys, if not centuries, on a lot of these places. You know, we knew about the dark side of the moon for a long time. They just never said anything about it. And again, when we looked at the Chinese lander, remember?
Yeah.
What was that, 2-3 years ago, wasn't it?
Something like that, a couple of years back.
Wayne and I don't know if you guys remember when I lived at my old house, we were doing a show and we were talking about the Chinese lander that was on the dark side of the moon. and it had seen these things that shouldn't be there, buildings and this, that, and the other, and the remains of buildings that have been bombed. And we were going to put the images up on the show. And the next day, when we went on to the Chinese website to go and get all this information, every single bit of it, all information had been completely wiped off the internet, off all search engines, everything, including dark engines, all gone. Why would that have happened, do you wonder?
I think they probably only designed it to be on there for a short period of time.
So it had nothing to do with people seeing it and then Bobberman seeing it and going, that shit's got to go.
That wouldn't be surprising.
It's a bit strange, isn't it? Like when we've mentioned stuff on all our chat and the show's gone tits up because we've mentioned things we shouldn't mention, and they take hold of our stuff and go, no, nobody can comment on this anymore. Strange.
I mean, the thing is though, when people will talk, when they see something they can't explain, they will talk. And if the Bobbermans of the world keep experimenting with new aircraft and not telling anybody they're about, what do they expect? I mean, the latest one is the Bell V280 Valor, which is another very similar to the Osprey. But how much like the F117A does that look? Look at its tail.
Almost identical. We get those. Well, we get those and Ospreys coming over all the time, and we normally get them in pairs coming over.
We've had Chinooks coming over all day today with Land Rovers and all sorts.
Well,
and of course, everybody goes, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on?" Yeah, but the armed forces have to do manoeuvres, you know.
One thing I will say is everybody out there who's seen all this shit with the HIAPs who retired from the army and all the forces in America and the UK are saying, oh, prepare for World War III, this, that, and the other. Remember, these guys are retired. They've not made any money for a while and they need a bit of fame. That's all I say. Scaremongering is a very good tool. Very good tool.
We've gone into a modern Cold War.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's complete bollocks.
Bloody Russia have just started using their old 3-ton bombs, which they started building in 1946 after the war ended. And then they realised they were never going to use them, so they stopped making them.
Same with the tanks.
Now they've started using them again.
Not the T-34s.
No, these bombs. They're now guided missiles, but they're 3-ton bombs. And they've only just started using them after 2 years. They're running out. They can't build the tanks quick enough. They're being destroyed faster than they're being made. So they're now starting to convert to these old bombs and converting them into cruise missiles. They still have to be launched from an aircraft, but in essence, they are still guided bombs. So all they've done is added a guided attachment to them to make them a smart bomb. But
this whole thing in the Crimea is a load of rubbish. Sorry, not Crimea, in Ukraine's a load of rubbish. Absolute load of rubbish.
Yeah.
It was all started. The only reason this whole thing with him was started was because the UN reneged on their promise that they made, or the deal that they made with Putin. So, and that's the only reason why he kicked off and went, well, I'm not fucking having that. It's literally it. And it was all to do with the UK and the US going, oh, no, well, we can go back on what we said and we can do what the hell we want. Well, no, you can't, because it's just caused all this trouble. And now they're trying to make everybody out over in Russia to be the bad ones and the bad guys and this, that, and the other, when it's actually them that started it. I'm not pro-American or pro-UK or anything, but we've spoken about this before. We sat back and looked at it and gone, well, hang on, wasn't Putin supposed to get that bit of
the problem? The problem was that when it all started, everybody all pointed the finger at Russia, said it was all Russia's fault, and they were sort of focusing more on the here and now, but they weren't focusing on the reasons why the here and now began in the first place. And then all of a sudden, everybody started looking back to the promises that were made. There wouldn't be any NATO expansion onto Russia's borders. And there was the promise that they would allow the Donbass region to be able to self-govern.
Yeah.
And they went back on the word. Zelensky went back on his word with that as well. So that's why Russia got involved with the Donbass region, was because of those reasons. And everybody's all going, "Oh no, he shouldn't have got involved."
They all went back. That's why. But unfortunately, it's governments, isn't it? And all governments are like a playground. They're literally like a playground. Miss, he's done that. What did you do first? Nothing.
Yeah. And now we've got it with our own government. We're going to have a civil war if we're not careful.
Yeah, I can see that coming. I can. To be fair, though, that's been coming for a long time. Civil war over here has been brewing since the 80s.
I mean, everybody's going on about, all these promises in the Labour manifesto and all this.
They'll never keep to it.
Now, all of a sudden, what's happened to all these promises in the manifesto? They don't seem to have appeared.
Yeah, it's politicians. They all talk out their ass.
The best one that got me laughing was, we didn't realise how much there was in the Treasury. Well, I'm sorry, but what's in the Treasury is made public knowledge upon request. So you're telling me they didn't know how much was in there? Yeah, right.
They all talk out their ass. The Conservatives are the best thing. That's all. The best thing. The worst thing that ever happened to this country. They fucked this country right up the bumhole. Raped it for everything they can.
I don't know. Labour started it before the Conservatives.
That was bloody idiot that was in beforehand.
The Conservatives just carried it on.
Yeah, and they made more and more money. Now Labour's got in, and Labour have gone, let's make some money, guys and girls.
But they don't like it. They don't like it because Mr. Farage is there.
To be fair, some of Farage's, I shouldn't be saying this, but some of Farage's ideals, this country's got to the point where something like that needs to be done. However, some of his ideals are like, nah.
Yes.
But out of Conservatives and Labour, I'd take the fucking lot of them, put them in a field and just bomb the bastards. You know? So, they're all as bad as each other. And what can you do? What can you do? There's civil war brewing over here, and there's civil war brewing across the pond, isn't there?
Yeah.
And what do you make of all this with Trump getting a new earring?
To be honest, I heard about it yesterday morning, and I'm like, okay, it was a long time.
Half of it doesn't make sense.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense whatsoever. 8 shots he shot.
You saw the sniper behind him lining up, and you knew he was looking in the same direction as the other guy.
The sniper was opposite the shooter, but behind Trump. And they were watching him for 3 minutes before they took shot. Yeah. But there were members of the crowd saying there was a shooter on the roof. There's a shooter on the roof. And the police officers and the Secret Services just stood there and watched.
Yeah.
But now they're saying that the guy who they've named as the shooter wasn't really him. It was somebody else. But then, of course, at the same time, you've got the prats out there that have gone, oh, look, Trump was shot in the chest as well. And he freeze frames the video, and you see a hole in his jacket just under his chest, as well as the ear. Oh. So apparently, according to this guy, 2 of the 8 shots actually hit Trump. But I'm sorry, but if you get shot, just the bottom part of your lung,
you won't be stood
you're not going
to
be going, oh, come on then. And I'm like, yeah, right. You can clearly see. And when you freeze frame it right on the mark where the hole is, you can clearly see that has been added, because there's no fraying of the suit. There's no blood or anything like that where the hole is. And I'm like, you really seriously think we've got to believe this rubbish?
Yeah, grassy knoll, anybody? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. I think, and there was another point as well back on that. On the 8th of July, when Trump and Biden had a debate, Biden said, there will be no more debates. The next time I see Donald Trump will be through a bullseye.
Yeah, he did.
Mm.
And this is the guy who has to fucking think hard before he farts, you know?
I've seen a few videos of that actually. When he meets Keir Starmer, and he goes as he's shaking his hand.
But just, I'm sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love America. I've got family over there. I've got lots of friends over there. But when you look at the guy who's in charge of pressing the button for nukes and shit like that, and he has no bloody clue what he's doing. I mean, he's got body doubles. It's been proved he's got body doubles, but Jesus Christ, the guy, when he meets people, he literally has no fucking clue what he wants for dinner, let alone anything else,
Well, I mean, most people do have body doubles. You look at it. Putin uses doubles. Adolf Hitler used doubles.
Yeah, they all do.
Anybody in power will have somebody that can take his place for looks.
Hey, Randy. All right, Gary.
In case he's needed. So it does make you wonder. He's a bit suspicious.
The thing I found a bit sus about that thing with Donald Trump was when I was watching it, like, if you've just been shot in the ear, like, Wayne's ex-RAF, I was light infantry, I'm now full para. When you shoot something, including the ear, if that was shot from a sniper rifle, that's got to be a fairly high caliber.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, a 2.2 sniper rifle ain't going to do anything. Why was his ear not taken off? And how did it only just graze his ear? And also, when you watch the video, you'll see Trump, nothing's happened, nothing on his face, and then he goes like that. And then you see him go like that when he brings his hand down. If you watch it closely, he does. And then all of a sudden he's got blood down, and then that there. And
yeah, well, the blood coming down the cheek there, that was when he was down on the floor. And the blood come down his head. Because before he ducked down, there was no blood there. And as he got down there and they all huddled on top of him, which would have been protocol anyway, they would have bundled him. They would have literally got him on the floor and covered him. And that's when he's got the blood down his cheek.
If you got a sniper there and he managed to kill other people, well, how the fuck could he not take him out? He's not like he's a small target.
Well, apparently he fired 8 shots.
Yeah, I heard you could hear them all going off, but only fucking
Bit of
one.
A crap sniper.
Shit sniper.
I'd have only needed one.
And no one ran away screaming like Americans normally do. Oh, controversial.
Well, there was a few. I mean, there was a BBC reporter laying on the grass behind his car. Yeah. And he wasn't that far. He wasn't that far from where the shooter was.
Maybe he needed a nap. It is the BBC. Just needed a sleep.
But it was a strange one. And also the fact that when the sniper did eventually take shot, it was to the head.
Which sniper?
The one that the shooter, the one with the pew pew,
yeah,
got hit by the sniper in the head.
Yeah.
And that means you can't ask him any questions. You can't find out who he really was. He can't turn around and say I was paid to do it or anything like that.
Well, it was Secret Service, wasn't it? They would have been told just
take him out.
Use of deadly force authorized.
I just found it quite funny that it took 8 shots before they finally took him out.
That's right, Eric. A retired fire chief, he dived in front of his family to save them, and he took the bullet and got killed. Andy, the shooter was spotted on the roof and reported to the police who didn't act on it. Yeah, they also told the Secret Service that the sniper was there as well, and they ignored him. Yeah, I saw that video, mate.
The snipers watched him crawling up the roof, and they could see the rifle in his hand.
Yeah, they were watching the whole fucking time, and they did nothing.
A lot of the people actually said that they thought it was another one of the snipers, one of the Secret Services.
Well, the guy that they said, have you seen the picture of the guy that they said do it? He doesn't look like he could shoot a fucking BB gun.
He was only 20. He weren't even old enough to drink.
And he was like a slight, little tiny slight guy.
Yeah.
You know? There's some shit that just doesn't make up. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I hate to say it, but the only thing I will say about Trump is when he said he was going to do certain things, he did it. It wasn't like our lot over here. We go, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, get voted in and go, don't know what we said, can't remember. Because they all lie their fucking heads off. You know, just to get voted in. They'll say whatever they want, whatever the people want to hear, they will say to get voted in. As soon as they get voted in, they go, we never said that. Nah, it was an if, but if or maybe. Never said that, and that's why trouble's brewing over here.
Yeah.
You know, because we've over here we've had nothing. It's been every single bloody government for the last 20, 30 years that's done this.
I think one of the biggest ones that's peeing everybody off is the 1.5 million homes in the next 5 years.
Oh.
And my answer to it on an official news post on TikTok was, so who's going to be able to buy these unaffordable 1.5 million homes? The answer is no one. We can't, nobody at the moment, unless you're in a high-paid job and you've been in that high-paid job for at least 2 years, you're never going to get a deposit big enough to get a decent-sized house to live in. So most people, most of these houses are going to be out of reach because you're looking £300,000 plus. So you're going to need at least £30,000-40,000 deposit straight away.
Yeah.
And most people can't afford it. I could never have afforded a deposit for a house. I've always had to rent.
Do you know what's really flipped me off about everything that's going on over here, right? You've got, and this is in no way a rant about any race, sexuality, religion, nothing like that. Although it does involve religion, a certain race, and a certain sexuality. But that's not actually our own opinions, because I don't give a shit what religion you are, what sexuality you are, what colour you are. If you're my friend, you're my friend, and that's all that bloody matters. And that's the way I was brought up and always will be. That's the way my kids are. That's the way Wayne is and everybody else I know is. But the thing over here, you've got Sadiq Khan's London, Mayor of London, who's a dick. And he's been taking over the churches over here in London, turning them to mosques and this, that, and the other. And then when people have turned around and said, why are you doing all these mosques when you've got so much homeless in London and you could turn these into hostels or places for the homeless? He's like, no, we need more mosques. We need more mosques. And then you get all these people that are coming over on boats illegally and stuff, and they're all of conscript army age, and they're all Muslim. And they're all going to these mosques. And so Sadiq Khan's building more and more, and he's building more and more refuge and stuff for these guys. So that to me doesn't make sense. And then you've got that new head in the Roman Catholic faith, or was it the Church of England, the female bishop?
I think it's the Church of England, isn't it?
I can't remember. But she's come forward and said, we need to get rid of the, what do you call it? And is it not a minaret? Inside churches where you have the altars. She's turned around and made a call for the Church of England and the Catholic faith to get rid of all altars in church so that you can have the call of faith for Muslims inside the churches. Now again, religion's religion. It's all the same thing to me. It's all the same big, scary, invisible guy who's better than your big, invisible, scary guy. When in actual fact they're all aliens, as we know. But if you've got a faith, and you've got a separate faith and a separate faith and a separate faith, and then you've got somebody from that faith saying, bring your stuff in here, surely that is going to cause a lot more trouble than anything else.
What I can't work out is turning all the churches into mosques. It's a difficult, or it used to be a difficult process, because the church had to declassify and come away from that church. So that then it could be taken over as a plot for sale. It's been decommissioned as a church and then can be commissioned as a mosque. And people are in uproar about it because they're removing graves and gravestones and they're not caring about where they get put.
There's that as well.
That again, RAF Scampton. I mean, I'm very close with RAF Scampton because I did my gliding lessons there, and that was obviously the home for the Red Arrows. But there is the memorial to Guy Gibson and his dog.
That's right.
And they changed the name of the dog because they didn't want to upset the body. Then they've moved it all. But the biggest issue there is with all of this going on, because we've now had a load move into an old RAF base just down the road from us. And when you look at the amount of money that has been spent on a weekly basis to house all these people, literally 1 year's worth of all that money that has been put out there would solve every single homeless person's issues in this country. Everyone. You would be able to afford to go out and pay for a guy that's living on the street to own his own 1 or 2 bedroom flat, lock, stock and barrel. He can then start on an even keel. He doesn't owe any money for a mortgage. He's just got to pay his bills.
Yeah.
And that's the first stepping stone for that individual. And we've just wasted it on giving them accommodation that they're now kicking off and complaining about. They've been given 5-star treatment in hotels. Yet they're kicking off saying, no, this is disgusting. This is squalid conditions. Yet when you go and inspect these hotels, they've made them squalid conditions.
Yeah. I've seen all the stuff that's going on. But it's like I said, my concern is the fact they're all conscript age. Seems very strange.
Again, is that a conspiracy theory?
A bit of both, probably.
Because they have started putting children on board.
Maybe because people are going, hang on a minute.
Yeah, that I think is worse when you see little 3 or 4 year olds being thrown onto a dinghy, you know, that's already 20 people over the limit. And then they're trying to get across the English Channel, knowing full well that's one of the most dangerous stretches of water in the world. Why would you do that? Why would you put your own life, let alone a little kid's life, at risk? And for what? Because no sooner have they got here, they've got their iPhone 13s out, they're phoning home saying, yeah, we've made it, we're on our way to the hotel now. We're going to be paid for by the British taxpayer. Thank you very much.
Don't get me wrong. We are on the show. None of us are racist or anything like that. We're just same as in France and Germany and everything like that. You've got shit going on. People don't agree with.
Everywhere's like it. Greece, France, Germany, even the new one now, Poland. Poland are now setting the example. They have turned around after one of their soldiers was stabbed to death at a border patrol. There was a load of illegal immigrants tried to storm from Belarus into Poland, and one Polish soldier, got stabbed to death. And as a result, the Polish government passed a law. They will now carry live ammunition, and if something like that happens again, they've got full permission to shoot to kill.
Good.
And yet we sit here and we do nothing about it. We just go, yeah, whatever. Poland, they passed this law, so if anything like that happens again, then straight away they turn around and go, oh well, never mind. No one's doing anything about it. They just said, fine, fair enough. So what we should be doing, we should be saying, right, okay, France, if you're not going to do anything about it, we will stay off your beaches, but we will pop the dinghies before they get into deep water.
Yeah.
And slowly the French police are actually doing that now, but not all of them. Some of them are letting them go, but others are deliberately going out and bursting the dinghies before they've been able to set off. But something needs to be done.
I understand a lot of the places they're coming from is crap. They're war torn and this, that, and the other, and it must be horrific to get there. I get that.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me is why, when you get over to another country and you've made it, why are you turning into the people that country you've come into hates?
There was, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of hatred towards the people that are sheltering them. But there was a question was asked of the ambassador to Albania. And they had done, I can't remember what they call it now, like a census of a couple of the hotels local to Dover. And they found out that the majority of the people there were from Albania.
See you later, Lynn.
Bye. And they said that there is no war in Albania. There's no civil unrest. There's no economic issues there. But there is a high crime issue. The problem is, why would they pay £5,000 to come across Europe and get on a dinghy and risk their lives to get into Britain when all they've got to do is pay £25 for a single flight from there to Stansted Airport.
Exactly.
There's an issue there.
Hello from Florida. It's Woo Rider's dog again. And there's Ghost Dog.
And it's the same, and it's not just in England. It's the same problem in Greece. Greece have got serious issues with immigration, especially from Albania. And I witnessed it the first time I went over to Corfu when they did have problems in their country. And the Greeks just took matters into their own hands and killed 27 people. But, you know, no one had an eyelid about that. But the local people, they can't take it anymore. So they are taking things into their own hands.
That's a ghost. Sorry, she's after my sausage and chips. No, you're not having my sausage and chips.
Ooh. Right, I will have to warn you now that my Wi-Fi may come and go because we got a storm coming in.
It's already here. We've already had lightning.
Oh, what? I want to go and stand out in the garden.
I was just stood at the top of the stairs.
Could be a UFO flying in under the cover of. Well, how could you say under the cover of darkness when there's lightning?
Watch for which way the lightning goes up and around clouds.
Yeah, that's a good question for you. What's the opposite of opposite?
The same as. Identical. Hang on. It's a ghost. Oh no, she's gone. She's going back. She's gone.
Oh,
You're going to come back up?
Where did Blossom go then? Oh, she's
You're not having my sausage. You're not having my sausage. I don't know. Yeah, the UFOs, aliens. What the hell's going on with South America again? Because we had this 3 or 4 years ago. We reported on it. We said things were going to start going digga 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 digga, and things started to go digga 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 digga, exactly as we said. They came in with the impulse engines. They came in, which are a real thing. They came in with the warp engines, which will be available 3 years. Is it now?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not far off now.
Which are a real thing. And then it all went quiet, and then it all started coming out again. Then all the whistleblowers were coming out, and then America went, "No, there's no such thing. There are, but no. As far as we're concerned, there's no such thing as aliens." The rest of the world's gone, "Yes, there fucking is." You know. But again, the American government, not the American people, the American government seem to think that they rule the whole world, and that they should stick their noses into any other country's business and say, "No, you didn't say this, you didn't say that, you must say this, you must say that." And then when other countries go, "Well, what the fuck's it got to do with you?" They don't like it. So 3/4 of the world says, yes, there are aliens. Yes, they are real. And that's 3/4 of the world's government. And then you've got like the old couple who go, "Oh, no. But they only ever say no when America's doing around and going, "No, there's no such thing." "Oh, okay, well, there's no such thing. Don't make sense.
The thing is, I mean, today, while I've been putting a new floor in my kitchen, I've been watching something called Mythical Beasts on Amazon.
I thought you were going to say Pornhub then, but I was going to say, haven't you completed Pornhub?
No, some categories I can't get on with.
Was it just me then?
Yeah, it was called Mythical Beasts, and one of the episodes centered around what was they called it? The feathered snake.
Yep.
The feathered snake god.
Cottle.
And about the guy who had actually discovered this tunnel that went underneath the main pyramid, and it then went on about the Sea of Mercury underneath the pyramid, and you actually see the chambers. And the chambers were actually 3 chambers in the form of a cross connected with the tunnel. So you had the tunnel was the long shaft, and then you had the cross, the 3 pieces of the cross at the end. And you could see where all the mercury was loaded up as far as the walls, like a tide mark. Yeah. And then obviously over the centuries, the mercury has filtered through and disappeared. and just left these marks on the wall. It very strange, but they're saying that obviously they worshipped this snake god, feathered snake. But although we don't physically see any proof of this, most myths and legends have some relation to truth at some point.
That's why I do this stuff. It's because for every, and we've said this so many times, every single myth and legend that we have discussed, researched, everything, there was that original spark that started it.
Yep.
There was that original sighting, whatever you want to call it, and it's that's what interests me.
But the question is where the hell did they get a sea of Mercury from? You know, I've seen these rooms underneath this temple are absolutely massive. You're talking 9 or 10 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of liquid mercury. You know, they don't just turn on a tap and it fills up.
Yeah.
They had to get it from somewhere. They found seashells in these tunnels. Bloody great big conch shells inside these tunnels. And they're like, how have they got these seashells? They have come so far from the sea. What are they doing here?
Yeah.
And they're like, they've got it somehow.
The thing is, the this feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl, when Quetzalcoatl and all the other versions of flaming snakes, this, that, and the other, that are seen in like Mesoamerica, Latin America, and this, that, and the other, in all of their religions, it's always the same thing, and the sightings are always the same. Thank you very much, darling. Thank you. I love you. And they always talk about when it's seen, it has smoke and flames coming off it, and everybody's gone spaceship. Mercury is used for time machines and in various other things. Red mercury, especially. What they're doing with all that mercury? Why did they use it? Did they...
Red mercury, which apparently doesn't exist.
Yeah. Red mercury, which doesn't exist. Although I've read the scientific paper saying it does exist, and they've got some. But you know, hey.
Yeah. The stuff that exists that doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see the video I put up on our wall of the guy who did the cold reading, whatever the hell you call it, when they tell them to look at stuff, remote viewing? About the guy, about the guy who did the remote viewing, and it was the one that did the remote viewing about Mars a million years ago. I put it up on. I think it was one of our Dark Mirror walls. I'll have to have a look, see if it was TikTok or Instagram or whatever. But I'm sure I put it up on our one. If not, I will do. But it was very, very interesting. Now I've had the redacted CIA report for that particular thing for donkey's years, and then to see the guy who did it being interviewed and talking about it, I was like, wow. But again, this was another thing that the American Bob and Whitmer said, no, never happened, didn't happen, don't know what you're talking about. Just like aliens and UFOs and USOs and 0 point energy and perpetual motion motors and cars that run on water and this, that, and the other, all that stuff that doesn't exist, yet everybody who's invented it mysteriously ends up with a severe case of dead within a few days of saying, no, this is for the people, not the government. Very strange.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of issues there with various bits and bobs that, you know, remote viewing seems to be picking up quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm on a coalition of remote viewers purely because I don't comment on it or anything. I'm one of these quiet ones. I just watch what they're coming out with and what they're saying. And some of the things they've been saying and make for it interesting. One thing, you know, our TikTok time traveler.
Yeah.
He said a thing last week about, he put a video up and he was saying about how England were going to get beaten 2-1 by Spain. And I said to Rachel the day before yesterday, England going to win 2-1, you know, against Spain. When I was pissing about and told her about the TikTok time traveler, and then fuck me, England got beaten 2-1 by Spain, and I was like, ooh.
Does that make me a time traveller then? Because I won 40 quid on Spain beating England.
No, I don't think for 1 second he's a time traveller, but I do think it was a good, because all his other stuff's never happened. But I do think that it was a good one to turn around and do. Was that your sex face?
No, I had an itchy leg.
Helen's in the background. He's going.
No, I knew England weren't going to win, but yeah, everybody having a go at Gareth Southgate, I think they're all wrong.
I don't know. It's football. I don't do football.
So,
you know.
But hey ho, I don't care because I said that England won't win it. They'll get beaten 2-1 to Spain, and I won 40 quid as a result. So I'm like, yeah,
nice one. Chariots of Fire. Oh, when you look at Eric, whenever you look back at all religious books or religious texts from all different religions, look at the Emerald Scrolls, look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, everything. There are many of them that talk about aliens. They talk about alien craft, and when they talk about them, they talk about the Chariots of Fire, the snake with smoke and fire coming out of his ass, and this, that, and the other. And that's how it's all described. When you look at the Mahabharata, they talk about their Vimanas and what they run on. They run on Mercury, you know, and this, that, and the other. But of course, none of this is real. It's all fairy stories.
I thought you were talking about Vangelis.
No. Although probably he does the aliens theme tunes for them.
Well, he might have done if he was still alive.
But yeah, that's what you're getting at. Yeah, exactly. For those of you who, I'm not religious in the slightest, but I have read up on events timelines on all the different religions, and they all have exactly the same bloody events that happened on the exact same timeline. The Great Floods, everything. You know, they all have giants that had a scrap and used to live alongside us. You know, lived at the same time as the mammoths and everything. You know, but and they've now found a city that one of the Indian deities lived in, and it was out in the sea, and they found it. What is a shadow person? I saw one in my kitchen tonight. Shadow people can either be you've got shit lighting in the background, or I do believe there are narrow places, there are thin veils, thin places where people can come in and out. What you got to remember with things like demons and shadow peoples and stuff like that, they're just entities that come from a different dimension. There is also another hypothesis that a lot of the times when some people see what they believe to be a shadow person, it's seen through peripheral vision. So the corner of your eye. So you could be looking straight ahead, and in the corner of your vision to your left or to your right, you might see something that moves. But because you're not focused on that area, your brain still picks up something. But what it does is it interprets what it thinks it's seen and makes you see that thing. So you might see, in this case, a shadow person. But that's just one of 3 or 4 possibilities that it could be. Do you remember when we were investigating that tithe barn and we saw that fucking great big shadow thing go across the wall?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
It is weird with shadow people because, you know, like you say, it could be where the veil is thin, but the spirit can only manifest itself to project itself as a silhouette or a shadow.
Also, the dimensions that they exist in, of their vibration and frequency, is going to be totally different to us. So maybe they can only be seen in our side as a shadow.
Yeah, they may be looking at us as shadows.
Yeah,
they could be there in the physical and see us as shadows.
Hank Marvin appears with his guitar everywhere in the echo. You know, but it does make for a good discussion, and we've done various shows on it before, and we've spoken about it. You know, when we spoke about Skinwalker Ranch and everywhere like that, there are thin places everywhere. High Brazil, the island off of Ireland that keeps disappearing and reappearing, where the Irish royalty come from, where the Tuatha De Danann come from, and where the doorways are from. The Fae people come in and out. It's the same with Skinwalker Ranch. Everywhere else, Native American legends all talk about doorways. Most religions talk about doorways. Just it's what your interpretation of it is. Most religions say it's demons and angels, but when you look into it, the demons and angels were actually aliens from other places that came and had a scrap here on Earth. And the good guys, the good aliens, were the angels, and the bad guys were the demons. So make of it what you will.
Yep. That's heavy out there. We got really heavy. You can hear it. I can hear it over the roof of the front door. I'm in the back of the house and I can hear it coming down the front.
I don't know. I've got to get my motorbike ready for tomorrow because I've got a biker's funeral to attend. So that's going to be interesting. I've done a lot of it today and still bits aren't working properly. So I've got to sort that out. And I've got to take my car down and get the tyre changed. Stupid o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to have to bugger it off in a second anyway.
I've got to go and get some more carpet adhesive tomorrow. Stuff is nasty. On my hands when I finished were black. It took me ages to scrub it all off.
Is that for your chest wig?
No, it's for the vinyl flooring that I got for my hallway. I'm putting in the kitchen as well, but I can only do it in tiles. So all the vinyl covering that I'd got left over, I'm cutting into squares and then putting them down as tiles into the kitchen over the existing vinyl floor. But obviously I need the carpet adhesive to be able to stick it down. And of course, if you offshoot, you wipe it off quick, don't you? So of course I was getting
sorry, what are you talking about now?
So of course I'm like, well, wipe it off quick. It's all over my fingers now. Next minute I know my fingers are as black as anything. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how not to do foreplay. So anyway, I don't know what he's doing wrong. He's getting black fingers. It's going everywhere. Anyway, on that note, we will be back next week. Thank you very much for joining us. Josh should be back with us next week as well. Our man across the pond there in America, in Wisconsin. The cryptid state, isn't it? There's tons and tons of cryptids over there. So hopefully we'll have some news from across the pond next week. But keep your eyes to the skies. If you see anything, report it to myself or Wayne or Josh or on the Dark Mirrors Facebook page. And until then, we'll see you next week. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Thank you, Wayne. It's a pleasure as always. And we will see you all soon. You got anything you want to say?
Nah, not really.
All right. See you all later. And thank you, everybody out there in streaming land for joining us.
Have a good week, everybody.
Well done. And you. And bye-bye.